Hey, it's Robin at Pajama Affiliates, and today I guess this is kind of a make you think, maybe a motivational video. In the group today, I've been talking about playing small and how we play small, and we're talking about even things like self-promoting and how it's we don't want to do that. We feel uncomfortable doing that. And then I posted a quote on my wall, and it's in today, and it's from Deepak Chopra, and it is something like the notion of I am this is our soul bondage here. And someone asked me, what does that mean? Can I explain? And I'm going to do my best. I am this. I am whatever it is in your head, what it is, your notion of who you are, what you think you are, who you think you are. That is what we call the ego. It's not actually who you are. And I know that you've heard and you've probably said it yourself, and I know I have. That's just the way I am. When somebody asks, well, why didn't you do this, or why do you do this? Well, that's just the way I am. Well, that's kind of an excuse, because that's just the way I am. No, that's the way you've learned to be. You learn from your parents, you learn from society, you learn from church, and even like thinking about the posting public on your wall and how that, or on your Facebook wall, or really speaking out about something and how you're scared to do it, because that's the way I am. And I'm losing my train of thought, and I'm trying to keep it on. But you learned somewhere along the line that that's seen as arrogant, that that's seen as rude, that self-promotion is just tacky. You learned that because society put it in your head, and you never questioned that. And so now you feel uncomfortable. And here's a little story about the ham. Okay, I don't know the exact story, but this is just an example of how we learn things and we never question them. A woman gets married. She's cooking her first Easter dinner, a ham for her husband, and she cuts off both ends and put it in the oven. And he's like, why'd you cut off both ends? She goes, well, that's the way my mother cooked it. So they call her mother and ask her, well, why did you do that? And she said, well, that's the way my grandma did it. So they call up grandma, and grandma says, well, my pan was too small. It went through generations and generations, and no one ever questioned it. And when we don't question these things about ourselves, and I can tell you, when I really started questioning some of the beliefs that I have held so strong for so long, my whole world flipped. Bam. It just whoop. And it's still flipping because I'm still questioning, And then we make that assumption that people don't want to hear what we have to say. They don't want to know about that. They don't want to hear that, We assume that. And assumptions are deadly, and they're dangerous. And I'll tell you a silly assumption I made a couple of weeks ago as an example. Me and my daughter, and we're going to my girlfriend Susan's pool to swim. She wanted to take the dog. And we have taken the dog before, but, Susan was going to be there. Her husband was going to be there. We were all, anyway, I know Susan and the way she is, and her husband, they're both very particular about things. And if she's watching this video, she knows. But they are very, very particular about things at their house and how things are, and they have to be a certain way. So I'm thinking, oh, God, Macy's going to plow through his garden. She's going to jump in the pool. It's going to be stressful. It's going to stress Susan's husband out, which is going to stress Susan out. I made the assumption. I told Tiffany, no, we're not taking Macy. I get over to their house, and the first thing Susan's husband asked me, where's Macy? So my assumption, and that's what we do. We let our thoughts just screw us up, and our thoughts, when I'm getting to that in a minute. So don't make the assumption. So you post something on your wall. Let's say you only have 10 people that see it. 9 people didn't want to see it. One person did. If that one person did and you made an impact, then do the other 9 really matter? No, they don't. Playing small will not serve you. You were not put on this earth to play small. And I'm talking to myself too here, because sometimes I do. I play small, and it's a daily, constant battle with myself as well. So don't think that I've mastered this. I am a work in progress. And I want to go in a little bit about the thoughts that we have, and that kind of goes with the assumptions. We have these thoughts about things, and another thing, another quote I read today is the only meaning that something has is the meaning that you give it. And this, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to tie this into the rest of it, but I just feel like it's worth sharing. The thoughts that we have, and the attachments that we create to things or whatever. And it's all thoughts. Our thoughts are the things that torture us. And I'll get to my story in a minute, but a girl emailed me yesterday, and she had dated a guy, and 2 months ago he got abusive with her and they ended it. And she was telling me, I still feel pain from this. And it's been 2 months. How do I stop feeling pain? I said, well, if you're not thinking about it, do you feel pain? And she said, no. Then stop thinking about it. Your thoughts give these negative things power, and you have to train that mind and train your thoughts. And you can do it. People say, oh, I can't do that. Oh, yes, you can. Yes, you can. And I will give you my personal example of thoughts. December 2012, Christmas Eve, I took a present over to my mother's house for Christmas. My mother was not in good health, and it was a gown, because she was always in the bed and she liked pretty gowns. I brought her a really pretty gown, and I'll never forget it. She's sitting on the edge of the bed, and I could tell she was just not having a good day. And she picked it up, and she looked at it, and she dropped it on the floor. Okay? The next day, she died, and the gown was still on the floor. My sister somehow got that gown back to me. Oh, you can't, my sister, Miss Penny Pincher, you need to take it back and get your money back. But I kept it, and I put it in a drawer, in my top chest of drawer, that gown. And I couldn't bear to look at it. It was just painful for me to look at it. The first week after she died, I slept in that gown all week and curled up like a baby because I hurt. And it kind of gets me a little teary. I'm trying not to get teary. But anyway, eventually I put it in my top dresser drawer, in my small drawer up there that I hardly ever use. And anytime I go in that drawer and I see that gown, it's just like ugh. It was a stab. The thoughts I had created that in my mind, and it tortured me. And I couldn't bring myself to throw it away. Anyway, a couple weeks ago, I hadn't done laundry in forever, and I needed a gown to sleep in. I have my daughter here. I can't just run around naked. She doesn't appreciate it. So I opened that drawer, and I looked at that gown, and I thought, that's just a gown. It's pretty. It's soft. I can sleep in this gown. So the moral of the story is the gown took on the meaning that I gave it. And you can take your power back with your thoughts. The gown is now in my regular rotation, and I have decided to sleep with it on a regular basis, and it does not cause me any pain. So think about the thoughts that you think about things, and the things that hold you back, and the things that you don't feel comfortable doing. What thoughts, what power in your mind are you giving away to something else? So, I mean, it's when you step out of that comfort zone, and like Leslie said today in our group, she said her stomach actually hurt when she did it. But when you do it, and you keep doing it, and you keep practicing it, you will get confident in it, and it will be second nature to you to do it. So that is my rambling for today. I'm on 9 minutes now, so I guess I'll stop. Maybe somebody got something out of that. But step into your power. It is your little ego that tells you you should not. The ego is what keeps us small, that I talked about in the first of this video. The ego, that thing that you think that you are, that is not who you are. Think about all the things that everybody and the things that are learned. When you go to do something, well, I can't do that because this is the way I am, or because I am shy, because I am scared, because I am not good at public speaking, because I am this, because I am that. Where did that come from? Because that is not who you are. Do not play small. Let's play big. We are big. We are powerful beyond measure. And that is what God, whatever, would want us to be. It's the ego that plays small. And one more thing about the ego tries to protect you, and that is its sole purpose, but it's not a good thing. If you can work on shedding that ego, do a little research, go look up Deepak Chopra and hear what he has to say about the ego, but shed that ego to the best of your ability. We are human. We are human, but we have divinity in us. So let's stop playing small and let's step into our power and let's rock this. And Robin at Pajama Affiliates, and I'll talk to you later.